Welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd focus on a really tough personal and economic issue, one which probably has no good solution. However, reality requires that even when there are no good answers, we still strive to come up with the best solutions we can and narrow down where the financial responsibility should come from.
Listening to media, I hear the United States is unique in the world, a place where business just abuses workers. Other countries protect workers and their families.
We're one of the few industrial countries in the world that does not have paid leave.
You want to be like Sweden? Kinda. Sounds pretty good.
I'm going to focus on the matter of paid leave when a woman has a baby, and we'll use Sweden to depict one approach compared to the US. With issues like this, regardless of what side you are on, we can start by determining who should not be financially responsible to be forced to pay for any such financial support. It is common to say businesses should do this for their employees. I reject the idea that it should be a requirement. Consider why businesses exist, which most people get wrong. For example, we'll hear about how businesses are supposed to provide jobs. This is untrue. Businesses exist to provide goods or services in hopes to make the owner a profit. If the profit is insufficient, soon the business no longer exists. It so happens that in trying to achieve that profit goal, they do usually employ other people, which is great, but they have no obligation, moral or otherwise, to do so. The more successful businesses you have, the more jobs will be created, but that's just a bonus. The same logic applies concerning paying employees even when they aren't working. You aren't paid based on your personal needs. You are paid based on the value you bring to the company. We don't, for example, pay someone more because they have a bigger family to care for. If your counter-argument is that society has a moral obligation to provide paid parental leave, then it must actually be society paying, not individual businesses. Ultimately, as you will see, society pays either way, but it is important for it to be clear they are paying so that members of society can evaluate decisions more clearly. It's like I pointed out in a recent video. It just adds confusion when you say businesses pay half of a worker's Social Security tax. No, the worker pays all of it, because the amount the business has to pay is money that otherwise could go directly to the worker. Politicians love to hide this reality through such complications. Likewise, paying people when they aren't doing any work simply increases costs, which are passed on to the consumer. Just as taxes on businesses are actually paid by consumers. As such, it really is a very regressive tax on the poor. Now, I have no objection if a business chooses to provide paid leave. That's part of free enterprise, where a business is trying to attract the best workers. Just like workers will choose one job over another if it gives them better health care coverage. Anything done voluntarily is fine. Of course, things are not this clear-cut. Raising prices can cause a company to go out of business. Pretty sure that means no one gets paid. So, if paid leave isn't forced on a business, what options are left? Well, typically it is to have government pay, like in Sweden. Since the government spends money from taxes, that means it comes from every taxpayer. So at least it is society paying for what people claim is society's obligation. But once again, nothing is free. Of course, the trouble with government is that politicians who always try to do more good stuff to buy votes and typically don't really care about bad side effects. No matter how much free stuff they give people, they're always looking to give to more people so they can prove they care, and that buy more votes thing. I'm all for mothers spending a long period of time with a new baby, 3 years or more. Yet I have issues with this paid time off, even if operated by the government rather than businesses. Going back to Sweden, just how far are you going to go to burden other people by force, which is what taxation is?
We and Papua New Guinea are the only countries in the world that do not provide any paid time off for new mothers. You get 16 weeks in the Netherlands, almost 70 weeks in Sweden.
You can have one kid, and then you're away for a year. And then if you have another kid, you just perpetuate your maternity leave, and you can be away for years.
Think about that. 16 months not doing a single thing for the company, yet you get paid. From information I've seen, the Swedish government pays 80%, and the company adds to that. So you get almost all of your pay for doing nothing for 16 months. Oh, but then there is that thing about having another baby and getting another 16 months pay. It isn't even just that. If you have twins, you get 22 months pay for not working. There are all kinds of problems with this, besides taking money from people by force. Consider, if a woman and a man have the same job and do the same quality work for the same paycheck, then the woman may actually be getting paid more for the amount of work she actually does if she has a baby. Yes, I know the special paid leave can also apply to the father, but come on, we all know it will usually be the mother who stays home. And even if the father does it as often, it just means new parents are getting paid the same, but for less work over time. So much for equal pay for equal work. You may notice that while I'm strongly in favor of mothers taking care of their children for at least the first 3 years, I haven't offered any solutions, mostly because, as I said from the start, sometimes there aren't any. But I will insert one step that may be a legitimate requirement, that being that the woman's job, or something equivalent, needs to be held for her when she does come back. Anyone hired in her place would be told the situation so they know it may be temporary. That isn't forcibly taking money from someone to pay another. Policies that do pay for non-work can hurt more than they help. It's easy to see the woman who just had a baby and loses her income. But what about the problem this creates for people you never see, including new mothers?
Economist Sven Larsson lives in Kansas now, but he was born in Sweden, where unemployment's now 10%.
If you're a worker, you don't want to live in Sweden. What do you do if you get fired? There's no job out there for you.
Oh, not so great after all. High unemployment kind of puts a damper on things. So while protecting workers, they end up with a lot less workers. And some of these people without jobs will still end up having babies. But good news, if they haven't even been able to find a job, at least they can't lose it. As I said, I don't know what the best solution would be. I thought about a voluntary insurance thing, but I can't see it working for this situation. I will say that doing things that help an economy grow the best it can will help more people get jobs and more people to get better jobs. It would help if we went back to some of the things that were common in our culture at one time, like families who stayed close, which means many of these new mothers would have parents or other relatives who could help out. Today, I see more and more young adults who have shut out their own parents just because they disagree about politics. I may do another video that focuses on the economy. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.